Bow hunting is my life. Filming is my passion. My bow is my weapon. Hunting giant deer is my purpose. Shed hunting is what moves me. Chasing spring gobblers sharpens our skills. Designing the gear that I use is my job. Making better bow hunting videos is my duty. These are my friends and my brothers. This is my world. This is Whitetails Inc.
Well, back at it. Caught a raging case of poison sumac all over my eyes. Went to the doctor to get a shot yesterday. Had to take 2 days off. But heading into the next stand to set on top of this ridge where we saw Point Break come out last year. And I gotta hike a huge ridge to get there, so I'm just gonna do it. I'm taking path of least resistance, but it's straight uphill. Almost to the top here. Well, go figure. Right where I dumped my gear on top of this ridge, about where I thought I needed to be. The tree I picked out over here is about 15 yards away.
I have built a confidence over the years in trusting my gut instinct when it comes to stand setups. Experience in the field has taught me when and where to hunt. You can do the same thing in your hunting area, but straight up, time and experience in the field is the only way. There is no big secret.
I'm gonna be completely exposed, but I'm right on the corner of this ravine right here, and where it meets kind of a couple different spots of bedding areas, and then there's a huge runway right down below the stand here that comes out of this field up top, and this is just a hogzilla run. You can see it right here, and it also splits right here. It goes down that way, and I'm gonna be in that tree right there. On the other side of the ravine here, you can actually see the runway right there going up, and all these different runways coming from this bed area up top all kind of converge, and this is the easiest point for these deer to get across down here. So I'm taking full advantage of that. Again, I'm manipulating them. In my tree, I'm going to be sticking out like a sore thumb, but relying on our camo predator and being in the right spot, man. Well, I just got my stand set. You can see it here behind me. Right up there. That's where she blow. And it is perfect, man. It's a nice setup. It's a little bit higher than I usually go, but because this ridge slopes up, when these deer come out of this bedding area, they're gonna pretty much be eye level with us. And we got no cover, so I wanted to be up a little bit higher than normal. I just got the surprise of the day. I'm happy and pissed at the same time. I just found a shed antler on my way back. I forgot my freaking pole pruner on my other stand, so I went back and grabbed it, and on the way back I was walking down the trail and paying attention looking for sheds. Ooh, baby! I'm trying to think what buck this would be. It may have been there for a while. Boy, it's swept up at the tips. I don't recognize this buck. I don't know if it's from this past year or year before that, but it's been out here for a while, obviously. And can't tell if it had busted off its brow or not, but big ol' heavy mature foresight it looks like. I am all set up. I got all my lanes trimmed out over here, and man, this is a sweet set. It kind of looks like a park in here. I got it trimmed out so nice.
One aspect of my hunting style that has evolved from the times of solo hunting is the way in which I trim out stands. In the old days, when I was alone, I hardly trimmed stands beyond a hole or two here and there. Now that I'm filming 100% of the time, everything has changed. I not only need to have a clear lane to shoot, I also need to be certain my cameraman can also get the shot. The only solution for this is to create more and wider shooting lanes. Some hunters would just die if they saw what I did in some of these areas, but it just comes with the territory if you're trying to film your hunts. I prioritize the footage before the shot, and if you're serious about filming, you need to get in that mindset fast. If you don't, you're just asking for trouble.
When our Point Break came out last year, we were set up way down here, and we watched him come right at the peak of this ridge, right out here. He came right out and headed right down, and that's exactly where we're set up. He'll be within 20 yards if he does what he did last year. Now, back out, heading into one set that I've been anticipating for the last 6-7 months, ever since shed season. Finally figured out where I wanted to get a set in for one particular buck named Tank. So hang with me, I got one hell of a ridge to climb here. This is where I wear hiking boots, because I need the support. I carry a lot of loads on some nasty terrain and feel more like a mountain climber half the time. This is the steepest section right here. Right over here behind me is where about 6 months ago I found the old tank truck shed right in here, laying on a piece of moss like it was meant to be. So about 10 minutes before I found this shed, I found a huge bed, big buck bed, that was a regularly used bed, and it was under a big cedar right on the edge of this bedding area, positioned right at the edge of the ridge so that I could look down, basically see me coming, see anything from all down below in this bottom. And I made a mental note, so to speak, and I said, I'm going to have a stand there, come rut. Alright, I think it just made my mind up for me here. Just coming over here, and there's a point where the main trail converges with the secondary trail. And right here, basically, the trail goes off right here, and then another one comes in right here behind me. Here's one trail, here's another trail, and they meet kind of right here, and there's giant buck sign all around me. This right here is part of the reason why I'm in here hunting. This is a rub from last year on the edge of this bedding area. There's another one right here. Major signpost rub right here at this point in this bedding area. And I'm going to be set up right here. Here's another giant signpost rub from last year. About 20 yards from the other rub, this is just hammered, absolutely shredded wheat. I'm going to set up 5 yards from this rub because it's the only tree there is here. It's right out in the open. It's the stupidest looking tree I've ever seen in my life. It's retarded. It's going to suck for filming out of, and it's the only thing we have to choose from. Every other tree in here is just an absolutely, completely knotted up old limbed freaking oak that you can't just cut the branches off, because it's just terrible. It's just terrible. This is just the worst freaking spot for trees I've ever seen, but quite obvious to see that deer has been bedding here very, very regularly. Tons of hair down in here. It's a medium-sized, I don't know how big of animals laying here, but it's a perfect spot right on the side of this hill. Another smaller one up here, so I don't know if it's a doe bed in here, or a buck, but it's about 30 yards from my tree stand. And that's exactly what this stand is for, right in the bedding area.
I get asked a lot of questions from hunters about how to set up new properties, which is part of the motivation behind Whitetails Inc. If I could give you one tip for any property, it would be to locate the thickest cover you can find and get on the downwind side of it. I've passed hundreds of bucks in the past 5 years while using this tactic. From one stand alone in 2007, I passed something like 37 bucks in a 36-hour period, and it was all because it was on the downwind side of a thicket that was adjacent to a creek. This tactic has also led to the death of many of the bucks that hang on my walls. While a lot of guys concentrate their efforts almost exclusively on food sources, I'm all about hunting cover.
Well, I just finished my first shooting lane out here on the old tank truck set, and it took me like an hour, over an hour. So far, I think it's the worst one yet. I had to trim the sides off of 2 cedar trees, take down a bunch of trees. it was just nasty. It was just a nasty setup. I got a lot of work yet to do. 1 down, at least another 5 to go. So I'm just gonna keep at it. I got a bug up my butt and said, you know what, I'm gonna finish this stand tonight. So I did. I put in another monster lane, right in the thick stuff. I've got an unbelievable setup right here. Had a deer come right up to me and walk within 10 yards while I was making all that racket. They just feel so safe back here. So I'm beat. I can feel the sumac seeping in my face, so I'm gonna wash up here real quick and get the heck out of here. But I do got a market going out, so I don't have to come back in here again until that fateful morning in November. And then there's gonna be some venison hitting the freaking ground. I'm here to tell you, this spot is unbelievable. And I'm back in the spot where Kyle and I did a run and gun setup, and I passed Meaty last year. It was like on the 7th or 8th, I think, of November. He's got his eye catched out. I'm gonna have to look at the sign that's in here, and the biggest thing is trees. Right now I don't really see a nice looking tree in here, so I'm gonna be stuck with crap, but I'd rather have a poopy tree in the right location. I don't care what I'm setting in if I'm seeing big bucks. This is the only tree right here available. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim off this branch up here, and I'm going to set up real low. This is the only option I have, and I want to be down in this thick stuff. That's the key, man. You got to be down. This is just a kind of an open area between 2 nasty thick bedding areas. For any of you guys who use only screw and stops, I have one question for you. Why? They are so much more work. If you've never tried a pair of muddy sticks or lone wolf sticks, do yourself a favor and do it, because these things, I can see why guys don't move tree stands very much, I'll tell you that much. Boy, I am absolutely shocked. It actually went very smooth. Getting Kyle up in here is going to be a whole different story, but I'm all set up. Got 2 belts on the old stand, and she's super solid. And I've got a bunch of real nice natural shooting lanes. It's still going to be a bear. I mean, it's thicker than heck, but with that being said, not bad. Not bad at all. It has been an SOB. I've got a stand in here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 shooting lanes through here. It is absolutely unbelievable. And I'm just finishing up my set here at, I'm gonna call it the Meaty set, because we passed Meaty right up here last year during the rut. But this year, when we come in here, if I kill some, I'm gonna know where it came from. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears.
On the next Whitetails Inc., we're going to conclude 15 days of hell, and I'm going to continue to give you all of my tips and techniques to make the best of your tree stand setups this fall. If you're sick of watching the same old, check out a White Knuckle DVD. Not just different, better. To check out our full line of White Knuckle Productions DVDs, gear, and additional video clips, either click on the link from whitetailsinc.com or visit us at whiteknuckleproductions.com.